Hey everybody, I'm Kai Holmes, and this is Season 1, Episode 12 of NBA Matchups, Elgin Baylor versus Clyde Drexler. So first we're going to be doing what stood out about them to me. Now what stood out about Elgin Baylor was how he could just score so much. He ended up having 27.5 points per game, or 27.4, but I just rounded it. Clyde Drexler was also a good scorer. It's harder for me to find what stood out to me about him because it wasn't really anything extremely specific. He was a really good player, and he just found the way to get the ball in the net. Now, their total points are extremely close. Elgin Baylor with 23,149, Clyde Drexler with 22,195. So far I'm going to say they're pretty equal. And next, what we're going to be going on to is steals per game. Now, Elgin Baylor actually doesn't have a stat for steals per game, which is kind of weird. And Clyde Drexler actually ended up getting 2 steals per game. That's insane. 2 steals per game. So that's another thing that stands out about him, is how he ended up getting 2 steals per game, 0.7 blocks per game for Clyde Drexler, and his 3-point percentage was .318. Now, Clyde Drexler and Elgin Baylor are both crazy good players. They're both in the Hall of Fame. Elgin Baylor, he's one of those legends that were just insane. He was on the team with Jerry West and Wilt Chamberlain, which was one of my favorite teams of all time. And now we're going to move on to total assists. Clyde Drexler has 6,125 total assists. Elgin Baylor has 3,650 total assists. Now, the crazy thing that I just think it's crazy, is how Elgin Baylor ended up getting 27.5 points per game. That's just insane. And it's still hard for me to believe. So I will be back with the determining stats and the winner.
For Drexler, if he can get turned in that direction. Strong with the right hand. Close enough it is.
Elgin Baylor owned many records, including most points in a playoff game, most points in half of a playoff game. In 1962-63, Elgin Baylor became the first NBA player to finish top 5 in 4 different statistical categories: scoring, rebounding, assists, and free throw percentage. He played 14 seasons in the NBA. Drexler averaged 6.1 rebounds per game. He averaged 5.6 assists per game. And he averaged 20.4 points per game in his whole career. That's pretty crazy. At the end, somebody's going to end up winning. It's arguably one of the best scorers of all time versus, I'm not sure what to call him. He was more all-around. Was a little bit of everything rather than just one skill. I think Elgin Baylor was just, crazy at scoring. He's one of my all-time favorites, but I gotta go with someone. So I think how good Elgin Baylor was at offense is something that's really rare. And not that Clyde Drexler's bad, but I think I'm going to just go with Elgin Baylor for a lot of reasons. And I'm going to go with him. So there's that crown. Alright guys, that was such a hard decision. I hope you guys like my video, and have a good day.